guys, I'm so glad to have you back today. We're going to do some organization in my IKEA Calyx unit with these IKEA boxes. I put the spelling of this box in the title here so that you could see, and these hold a 6x8 and a 4x6 next to each other. So I'm going to show you how that works, but they are also very sturdy. Their handles really help with picking them up if you're using magnets in the back of these dies. Here's how they fit together. And then this next picture is going to show what an A2 size card looks like. So that little pack of paper is an A2 size, and that fits in there, of course, too. So it gives you a lot of room. They fit perfectly in your Calyx unit, and I use a lot of these. So we're going to get into how we're going to label and organize these. So if you don't have a label maker, you definitely need to get one of those if you're wanting to do this kind of organization. And I'm going to go through these stamp pouches that I used. I have tried a ton of different ones, and these Avery Elle, to me, they hold up the best, they're the sturdiest, and they just come in sizes that I need. The other thing that I use is magnetic sheets. These are 8.5 by 11. I'll make sure to link all these products below. I want to show you my most common use size, which are the large and the extra large, and I wanted you to see those side by side. One fits a 6x8 and the other fits 4x6 pouches. So I got my probably biggest haul of Altenew stuff in, and I wanted to show you when a box comes in with new products, what I do. I always keep this piece, even though I'm not using it to store. It's so great for mixed media or use it as your window on a shaker card. So always keep those. I have an entire drawer full of that. And then this right here has lots of ideas. It has your layering guide. And so what I love about these Altenew big stamp sets is that they fit directly inside this. So even with their product information, they fit perfectly, which is not the same with a lot of the 4x6 stamp sets. So you can keep everything together and add dies and add magnets, and still the pouch is not too full. I do want to mention, if you haven't taken the time to hit the subscribe and the like button, I would really appreciate it. It helps me out so much. So we're going to go through this, and like I said, everything's going to be listed below, and options for the different items. So I'm going to list some different types of magnets that I've used before from different locations that you can buy them. When I get these types of dies, these are actually stuck to the front page with a sticky tape, but over time that sticky stuff wears out. So I always put a magnet right there. I also put that magnet to cover up the sticky so it doesn't stick to the back of my other pouch. So I really love cutting magnets to the appropriate size. I think that saves you a lot of money and helps just make things neater. Next, I want to show you the 4x6 stamp set and also the labeling. I always put the brand name and then what the stamp set is on my labels. And I usually store them with their brands, but I still like having that brand name on there. So this is a 4x6 set, and I'm going to show you what you have to do to make this fit in the pouch. Like I said, I'm going to keep that little piece of plastic. But when you put this in this pouch, which it may be a little hard to see because it's clear, there's about maybe a fourth of an inch, maybe a half an inch that's a little bit too tall. But what Altenew does, and a lot of them seem to do, is make sure to leave me some empty space at the bottom of this. I still have to cut a little bit of that skew off, but I cut from the bottom just because I like to be able to see my brand, and there's a lot more detail up at the top. You can see that layering guide goes all the way to the top. So I tend to cut off the bottom, and it's still, you can see I didn't cut anything that I really need, so that works well. And then I put this behind my stamp set. And the reason I put these pieces in there is because they have information, but also you can see your stamp set a lot better when you've got something white behind it. So this one I already had the magnet cut, put it over my die, and then sealed these up, and I'll label it. Now let's look what my full Altenew box looks like. On the left side I do the 4x6s, and on the right side I do the larger stamp sets. I put my stencils, my 3D embossing folders, just do it by size, smallest to largest on this side. The other side will not fit the large stamp set, so you have to keep them all on this specific side for everything to fit in the box. But this box is really full, and it still just holds up great. So next, let's talk magnets. These are from Amazon, Marietta magnetics. I have several different kinds. These come in a pack of 10, 8.5 by 11, and they are $20 for 10, which, yes, magnets are expensive, but these are a great weight, and I really can cut these up, and I can get at least 4 pouches, especially if you're doing small ones or even doing the bigger ones, if you don't have huge dies that take up the whole back, I usually make my magnet to the size that I need so that I'm not wasting that magnet. And I keep every piece I cut off because a lot of times I can use those too. So for stencil storage, I've got a couple different things that I do. With my 6x6 stencils, I found these pouches from Gina Designs that are very durable, like the Avery Elle, and I usually take those out and put them in the pouches and label it, and I can fit 2 or 3 stencils in there. But I've got all these different size stencils. So my 6x6s, I'm going to use those Gina pouches, but all the rest, I just label the top of the plastic, and then I usually store these by just putting them in front of one of my boxes that doesn't have quite as much stuff so that I can flip through stencils when I'm wanting to use them. Let's look at what I do with boxes that aren't quite as full. As you can see with this one, these are kind of sliding down to the front of the box. So with my dividers and all that, I figured that I would start using something to keep them standing up better. And that makes it easier to see them from the front of the calyx unit, because if they slide down in there, you can't see what you're looking for. So I use this non-slip cabinet liner. I found this at Target or Costco, and it just helps stand up your sides. You see how much better that stands up? And then this other side, same thing. So I tend to do that for the boxes that don't have as much in them. With the Altenew box and Lawn Fawn that I have a lot of, I don't put this in there because I like to have that freedom to kind of have the slick bottom to go back and forth when I'm flipping through. But with this, it works perfectly. Next, I want to show you what I do with little pieces that I've colored that are for a specific set. I found these little bitty Ziploc bags, and I'm going to show you how those work. So here with Bubbles of Joy, you see I've colored all these things, and I don't want to throw those away. So I found these little mini Ziploc bags, and they fit quite a bit. These pouches are very forgiving, so I can put quite a bit of things in there and stick them in with my stamp storage. Okay, let's talk about the dividers that I use in these. I make some dividers and I buy some dividers. So these colored dividers in the front are from the stamp market. They also have these in white, and scrapbook.com has these in white, and I believe in some colors too. These are the ones that I've made. So I took a 12 by 12 piece of paper and cut it in half, and so it's 6 inches wide, and then the full 12 inches. And then I just label the top with my label maker. I like those big tall dividers in the back because I can see them well when I'm looking from the front, but also because slim lines fit behind them and aren't covering up the name of the product that's behind it. So I have one exception to this, and I'll probably go back and make my divider a little bit taller. It's a slimline envelope die, and it's just extra tall because it's fitting those in there. But every other slimline that I have fits behind these dividers. Let's look at how these boxes fit in the Calyx unit. I usually use part of the logo to put on my boxes too, just to help me know what brand it is. But I want to say that these boxes are $4.50. So I can fill this whole thing up really for close to the price of buying a couple of the clear refrigerator storage. So I think they're a great price point. They're very durable. Definitely check them out at IKEA. I hope you guys learned some ideas that are a little cheaper and that will help you organize your craft room. Thanks for sticking with me this long. I really appreciate you watching. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button if you're able to. And all of the products are below in the descriptions. I have several other videos about organization if you want to check those out right here. Thanks so much, guys. See you soon.